If you look at the daily news feed right now, it feels like a relentless fire hose of isolated emergencies. Take the headlines for July 1st, 2026. A massive 40% monsoon rainfall deficit in India, drone attacks across the Strait of Hormuz, billions of dollars being poured into sovereign semiconductor manufacturing. It is easy to view these as separate crises, but they are entirely connected. We are looking at a world actively battling on multiple fronts simultaneously. To make sense of this, we have to look through a specific lens. We can group these global events into 4 distinct pillars of security: resource, energy, technological, and democratic. Reading the daily news through this framework transforms a random list of anxieties into a clear, readable map of national survival. This chart highlights India's drastic 40% June rainfall drop in 2026, the 5th lowest since 1901. Threatening Pillar 1, resource security. This super El Niño phenomenon suppresses monsoons, endangering agricultural stability and rapidly depleting urban water reservoirs. And while domestic water is drying up, global transit routes are actively being weaponized, bringing us to Pillar 2, energy and geopolitical security. Let's look at the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. envoys arrived in Qatar, releasing $6 billion to manage friction. Simultaneously, an Iran-Oman committee is managing ship transit through this narrow choke point, even as drone attacks target vessels during negotiations. When external climate volatility dries up your water at home and distant geopolitical choke points threaten your energy supply abroad, the foundational stability of the domestic economy is at risk. So, how does a nation respond to those external pressures? They build Pillar 3, technological security. Aggressive domestic tech investment serves as the direct defense mechanism. To address supply chain vulnerabilities, the Union Finance Ministry just cleared a proposal for 1.25 lakh crore rupees to fund the India semiconductor mission. The goal is to secure sovereign, domestic chip manufacturing. We see the same defensive logic in Delhi's new EV Policy 2.0. This is a structural roadmap designed to accelerate electric mobility, directly reducing reliance on those highly vulnerable overseas oil routes we just analyzed. But pushing through massive structural changes requires internal consensus, and that brings us to Pillar 4, democratic security. Rapid adaptation often creates severe domestic friction. Controversy surrounds the electoral rolls revision. Critics call striking names for discrepancies a citizenship kill switch. Meanwhile, the opposition accuses the Election Commission of bias. Separately, states like Kerala are passing resolutions against centralized exams like NEET, citing massive administrative failures. You can pour billions into silicon chips and electric vehicle grids, but a state cannot successfully future-proof itself if it loses the trust of its own citizens. When we zoom out, the daily news is no longer a random, chaotic feed. It is a highly interconnected story. Geopolitical power in 2026 isn't measured solely by military hardware. It is the ability to manufacture microchips, secure fresh water, safely navigate global transit routes, and maintain internal, democratic consensus. This animated matrix shows how deeply interdependent these pillars are. A failure in climate resilience strains energy needs. That energy deficit demands rapid technological innovation, and that rapid transition heavily tests democratic stability. Tomorrow's headlines provide a real-time ledger. They document our collective, active attempt to adapt to a changing planet.